Welcome to the Mukilteo Football Show. My name is Miles. The Kansas City Chiefs defeat the Los Angeles Chargers 30-27. And I don't want to say the Chiefs have clinched the AFC West, because they haven't mathematically. There's still 7 weeks to go. But they've put themselves in AFC West mode here. It would take an inexplicable collapse or major injury to stop that now, because the Chiefs, they go to 8-2. They send the Chargers to 5-5. And they've beat the Chargers twice, so they have a tiebreaker. So they're not just 3 games ahead, they're 4 games ahead, because they have that tiebreaker. And then the Broncos and Raiders are dinking around, at 3-7. So much for the super division that we all thought in the offseason, though I did not. I said on the Broncos and Raiders previews, I didn't buy it. Not to say I was right about everything, or even most things, but I was right about that. Justin Herbert, Pat Mahomes in prime time. It was fun. It was a good game. This Sunday Night Football was supposed to be Bengals Steelers, but it was flexed out. And it may just be my memory. I don't have any stats or numbers on this, but I don't remember NBC or the announcers ever openly talking about flexing into games, and this is why we flexed into this game. The little ad reads going through this week, they had a number of mentions that they had flexed into Chiefs Chargers, and Mike Tirico at the beginning of this broadcast was like, every game between Mahomes and Herbert has been a 1-score game. That's why we flexed into it. I've never heard. It just feels weird. I'm not that I'm against it, just saying it signifies a change. So the Chargers, well, they start hot, as always, and then everyone who likes the Chargers on paper, who are very smart people. There's a lot of smart people in national media. They just get fooled by this all the time. They're like, wow, the Chargers are back. We might go to the Super Bowl again. The big touchdown to Palmer. It's like, this is how last week started. And so many of these people picked the Chargers to win the Super Bowl at the beginning of this year. Just keep falling for it. Not that they played a horrible game, but you got to remember the Chargers, this is what they do. They're going to have some sweet, awesome plays early. That's what separates this Chargers historically from the Texans, from the Lions, from the Browns. It's not historic futility and hopelessness. It's almost having it and having it yanked away, always. That's Chargers. The Chargers are the 20th century Red Sox, not the 20th century Cubs. Got to remember that. You got to expect the collapse. But yeah, so people were really thinking, the Chargers are going to do it. A statement game. I mean, hey, I picked the Chargers to win this game. So I was one of them. But the game went on. It was a pretty entertaining game, and the fourth quarter was fun. Travis Kelce scored his second touchdown. The Chiefs were up 23-20, and then we just had these game-swinging plays. The Chargers are driving, trying to answer that Kelce touchdown. Herbert gets it to Keenan Allen, who fumbles. Oh, brutal. I felt so bad for Keenan Allen, who had worked to get back on the field, was the savior that Herbert has had no weapons. He finally gets Keenan Allen back. He's going to be on a pitch count, but he's going to be there in the crucial moments. And in the crucial moments, he fumbles it. Oh, it was so brutal. There's 9 minutes left in the fourth quarter, but then a couple plays later, football gods stepped in. They said, no, Keenan Allen's been good to us, so we're going to give him this. A screen pass to McKinnon. The Chiefs fumble it right back. So the Chargers get another shot. And Keenan Allen gets his redemption. This was fun. It's 3rd and 18. Justin Herbert's just been sacked, and he goes over the top, deep down the right sideline to Keenan Allen for 46 yards. Wow, that was fun. That was a lot of fun. Keenan Allen actually moved past Greg Olson and Cliff Branch in all-time receiving yards on that play to number 83 all-time. But anyway, the Chargers punched that in. You know the story. They left too much time, left a minute 46 there. Mahomes gets it. And it's always like, even just, I just did it there. Oh, you left too much time for Mahomes to get 75 yards. Like, let's have a little bit of respect for Mahomes. Makes it look easy, but it's not easy to get a 75-yard drive and touchdown in a minute 46. You know, he did it with his legs, got it to Travis Kelce for Travis Kelce's third touchdown of the game. Was pretty cool. Kelce got 11 touchdowns this year. 4 against the Raiders, 3 against the Chargers. And it was fun watching Travis Kelce and Derwin James. That last play, that game-winning, not last play, but the last play for the Chiefs, the game-winning touchdown went to Travis Kelce. He was covered by Derwin James, the Chargers safety, who Kelce, called one of, if not the best safety in the game. That was a fun battle to watch all day. Kelce got 3 touchdowns, so it's going to look lopsided. But, Derwin wasn't on him for 2 of those touchdowns. And Derwin had to be using like the pass rush. They the apparatus was falling apart for the Chargers. As always, the injuries are piling up. The nurses are on the sideline wheeling them off. Like I picture their locker rooms like a World War I tent with like a bunch of bandaged guys with no eyes and stuff like that. That's the Chargers locker room. Sideline reporters love announcing the Chargers games. A lot of airtime. No, that was fun. Derwin versus Kelce. Reminds me of Cam Chancellor versus Gronk in terms of entertainment of a safety tight end matchup. And then after Kelce's third touchdown, there was still time. 31 seconds. Justin Herbert needs a field goal to tie it, to send it to overtime. There's down 30-27, and that's when Big Chris Jones stepped up to the plate. The Mean Joe Green of this Chiefs aspiring dynasty. Let's call it what it is. Had they beaten the Bucs in 2020, we would be calling this Chiefs team a dynasty. So Chris Jones, he stopped Herbert. Well, 2 big plays. Stopped him when Herbert tried to do the run, and then forced the wild interception there. So big Chris Jones comes through. Chiefs go to 8-2. Mark the Chiefs in the playoffs, y'all. Only question now for Kansas City is how good will Mahomes be and will he win MVP? So that's the only suspense that I have on my radar. Mukilteo Football Show. The show's football everything. History, legacy, ups and downs of a season. Follow us at MUK_football on Twitter or YouTube. Subscribe, share, review on Apple, Spotify, Anchor, wherever you get your podcasts. We have shows Sunday after Sunday Night Football, Monday after Monday Night Football, and Thursday after Thursday Night Football. And this week, we're going to have a show tomorrow after Monday Night Football, after Arizona and San Francisco battle it out in Mexico City. We'll also have a show on Tuesday. My brother Kirk will be back and we'll preview the Thanksgiving games specifically. But today, let's get to some awards. The Sunday Best Awards. And the first award is the Life is But a Walking Shadow Award, which goes to the New York Jets. And the unfairness of it all. Of all the teams in this universe, all the fan bases in this universe, the least deserving of a walk-off punt return touchdown is the Patriots fans against the Jets fans. This is ridiculous. It's crazy. The game was 3-3 after defensive dominance on both sides. Zach Wilson struggling, Mac Jones struggling. It ends with a walk-off punt return touchdown, which was the first punt return touchdown of the whole season. and it benefits the Patriots. Life is but a walking shadow. Oh, man. That was the 10th punt by that Jets punter. I feel like Bill Belichick's strategy was just to tire the punter to the point where, because it wasn't really like flat line drive punt that went to the Patriots returner Marcus Johnson, who had a great return, but it was a pretty bad punt. Gosh, it was so bad. And then there was a block in the back that appeared to be missed at the end. I actually audibly gasped when he's at like the 10-yard line, and there was just a Patriots player who blocked it in the back. The officials have come out and said it was a side. They're wrong. I don't get it. I don't think it had to be called, though. I don't think that guy was going to catch him. Maybe he was, but I don't think so. It's probably the difference between walking into the end zone and tripping into the end zone. But my point there was that had it been called, then we could have had something interesting, because that Patriots kicker was struggling all day. Boy, what a game. Jets fans don't deserve this. I actually asked on the Thursday show, half jokingly, I said, does Zach Wilson know that he's been playing so poorly? Because he doesn't seem like it. And then now today, a reporter asked him after this game in which he had 9 completions. Remember, there were 10 punts. So 9 completions, 10 punts. It was under 100 yards passing. It was a horrific day for Zach Wilson. And the reporter asked him, do you feel like you let the defense down at all? And he just said no. And just moved on. Now, I can sympathize with Wilson on a human level here. He just put in that performance, right? So if he does know that he's playing poorly, which I think he does, there's no right way to answer that question. What he's really reacting to is, screw you, man. If I say like, no, I don't think we let him down, then you're going to be pissed at me. If I say like, yes, I do, then you're going to be like, Wilson admits he let the defense down. There's no right way to answer it. But just the one word, no, now it's theatrical. Now it's a headline. Now it's much more than, now it's more than a headline. Now it's viral. Just no. Yeah, you gotta avoid that. But hey, don't let Mac Jones out of the building here without criticizing him. Because Mac Jones was not as bad as Zach Wilson, but, because the kicker missed a couple kicks, they probably would. But Mac Jones also, his team may be considering shooting him into the sun, as it were. Ultimately, this is just sad. Life is but a walking shadow for the Jets. 14 losses in a row to the Jets. And the worst part about this 14 losses in a row is that there are 2 different 14-loss streaks that continued here from the Jets to the Patriots. Not only have the Jets lost 14 in a row to the Patriots just straight up, but they've also lost 14 in a row in Foxborough in the regular season. The last time the Jets beat the Patriots in the regular season was 2008. Then the Patriots had Matt Castle, and the Jets had Brett Favre. But you have to give the regular season qualifier because they did beat the Jets did beat the Patriots in the 2010 divisional playoff. The absolute best moment for the Jets since the 1968 Joe Namath Super Bowl. All right, next award. The Is Jeff Saturday Good award goes to Jeff Saturday. They lose by only 1 to the Eagles, and the Colts were rolling early. Everybody was like, oh boy, is Jeff Saturday Colts gonna beat the 8-1 Eagles? Like, it's pretty crazy. And I feel bad for Frank Reich. That's my side of it. I feel like everyone's comparing week 10 and 11, these 2 Colts performances, to week 8 and 9. Like, did Jeff Saturday heal Jonathan Taylor? Did Jeff Saturday heal Michael Pittman? Did Jeff Saturday heal the mind of the owner who benched Matt Ryan? Maybe. Actually, he might have actually done that. I have the conspiracy that one of the reasons Frank Reich was fired is that he made it clear that Matt Ryan was benched. And kind of what was unsaid, which was clearly pieced together by everybody, was that the owner benched Matt Ryan. And I think the fact that he let that clear is a reason that Drunken Jim Irsay fired him. But anyway, still, this is still Frank Reich's apparatus, stuff they've installed for the whole year. Jeff Saturday didn't come on. The announcers are like, a Colt right guard or something went offsides. They're like, that's something they're going to work on. Jeff Saturday's going to make their guys. What are they going to work on? Are they going to go out to the grass with that right guard and be like, listen, you can't go offsides? What exactly? What are they doing exactly? But the Colts ran out of gas. But I've been too negative. In seriousness, is this working? The spiritual leader coach. There's something to it. Bring in the charismatic, guy who maybe doesn't have his fingers in everything, but he's got the right people. The Eisenhower strategy. I don't know. There could be something to it. Because by all accounts, Jeff Saturday's a great guy and a good motivator and, a genuine, authentic presence. And if you have the X's and O's guys, do you really need another one at head coach? This could be a trend. It could be a trend. I know Bill Cowher is pissed, but I don't know. Maybe they only lost by 1. All right, next award. Well, that's a great sound effect for this. This is called the You Bitched and You Bitched About Getting No Respect and Then You Let Us Down award. That goes to the New York Giants, awarded directly to the Giants facility by the casinos in Vegas and Atlantic City. Because the Giants, look, they're 7-2 going into this week, and they just dropped an egg against the Detroit Lions at home. And they were only 3-point favorites to the Lions at home, and they were whining about it so much. And the Giants fans, they had a case. Like, they were 5-1, and then they were underdogs to the Jaguars that week. They were 6-1, and they were underdog to the Seahawks that week. Like, no amount of respect was ever given to the Giants in terms of the lines. They're just underdogs all over the place, only getting 3 points against the Lions. And now this. They finally made the Giants a favorite, and the Giants just blew it completely. It's funny to me. All right, next award. The Whispers Around Town Award goes to the city of Baltimore and the city of Philadelphia. They both won their games. Baltimore did beat the Panthers. It was a lethargic performance, but they did win 13-3. Philadelphia did beat the Colts eventually by 1. So they won. So we're not shouting things from the rafters. People aren't pissed, but there's some whispers. Like the Ravens, they had traded for Roquan Smith. They won 2 primetime games on Thursday and Monday in week 9 and 10, or week 8 and 9. They had a bye week 10. We're feeling like everybody's got the Ravens as their dark horse Super Bowl winner going into this week. Yet they could barely do anything. And this defense, the Panthers defense gave up 5 touchdowns to Mixon. So Ravens fans are thinking about that all game long. And the Eagles too. You think they feel like they could have been undefeated. It's kind of a fluky win by Washington on Monday Night Football. And yet they look like they were going to be really beaten by the Colts for a little bit. But the defense thankfully clamped down. And then Hurts ran in the touchdown and stuff like that. But so nobody's crying. Baltimore's at 7-3. They got Lamar Jackson. Philadelphia's at 9-1. They got the inside track to the number 1 seed again in the NFC because the Vikings lost. But there's just whispers, whispers around town. Ravens are like, a lot of injuries. Ronnie Stanley got hurt again. Lamar Jackson's weapons are weak again. We're like year 5 of this. How is this not the same as our what keeps us in a tier below Pat Mahomes and Josh Allen every time? And the Eagles, they look like the 2021 Eagles because they did it with Jalen Hurts' legs. And that's not going to beat teams in the playoffs. You're just worried about it. So I'm not necessarily worried about either team. I'm trying to be good. Every game is not a book, a new chapter of the book, right? Try to zoom out a little bit, but, it's out there. All right, good night, everybody!